Okay, so where we left off, we're still in Shadowscape, and Rayla is on a little taking care of a personal matter. Now, in this episode, I'm going to take a step back from role playing too much and focus from a macro perspective, which is the generalization of actions. So, here's the question. Does Rayla find her parents without any trouble? It is very early in the morning. It is roughly 3 a.m. in the streets. She's entering the slums. And does she find her parents without any obstacle? I think it's going to be 50-50. So if I roll below, if I roll a 50 or below, it is um, a success. That she won't run into any problems. She does encounter a problem. So 74 means she finds a problem. And that's going to be a card we'll use from the Dungeon Degenerates. I think it's going to be possibly two things. 50% chance it is a city guard. Looks like, oh, okay, that's a strong yes. So she stopped by a city guard, questioning her, why is she out? So, why is she, well, is there really any current active laws that prohibit anybody from being out this late or this early in the morning? That could be a yes. Let's say 75% chance on that. That's a yes. So perhaps this king of Shadowscape, who is King Rosalind, has implemented a law due to maybe there's some external danger, external forces at work, causing kidnappings at night. Maybe there's some high rate of crime. Anyways, this city guard questions her, and Rayla has to use her charisma to convince the guard to let her go, to let her be without any trouble. That's going to be a d20 roll. We're rolling at 6 or less, and your reroll fell off the side there. There we go. Okay, 9, which is not a success. The guard says, does not allow Rayla to proceed on. He tells her to go back, to leave this area. Maybe perhaps it is a certain area that the guard is uh, on patrol. Perhaps the guard cannot allow Rayla to enter this certain area. Maybe something happened. So the guard doesn't tell her to go back, to wherever she came from, or her home, or the inn, but he tells her to avoid this area, and there's nobody allowed permissible through. Nobody's permitted to enter. So she has to find another way in. So let's roll for wisdom to see if she can find another way into this certain area. That's going to be a roll of 11 or less. That's another 9. Okay, so she's able to enter. Perhaps the slums are being closed off, or the certain area is closed off by this guard, but she's able to find a way in. So perhaps another hour or so passes by. I'm going to write down 4 a.m. here on my notes. And she eventually finds a hole in the wall store, kind of a shop where her parents, I've mentioned before, work. And her mom, based on what we know, is very sick. She is dying. That's why Rayla is on her way to find her parents to heal her mother with the elixir of life, which is in her inventory right here. So she finds her parent, or she finds the store. Obviously, the store will be closed, locked. Let's roll for the oracle here. Well, I'm going to say it's closed. It's super early in the morning, and this area is fairly quiet. There, like I said before, there are possibly a number of homeless people out, beggars. There is rats running around. It's very dark, cobblestone flooring, cobblestone paths, very tight alleyways, dark, a lot of um, boxes and dirt and debris. A very not so well maintained area for the public. So she finds the door, and I believe I'm going to say she has a key for the door. I'm going to add that to her inventory. It is just a standard shop key, a shop key. It makes sense. She's had that on her person ever since she left her family, perhaps weeks ago or months ago, to begin this adventuring lifestyle and finding a cure for her mother. So she puts the key in the door in the keyhole. Now, is the door locked? I'm going to say 90% chance it is. It is. Okay. So she turns the key, it opens up. So we rolled that it is locked before unlocking it. She opens the door, and are her parents perhaps living upstairs? I think the shop is 2 stories. It's a two-story building. Again, it's kind of in very, very thin, in the middle of two larger, perhaps shops, vendors, stalls, and it's a very tight space. Her parents live upstairs. The shop's closed. She closes the door. She goes. She walks quietly. All the there's no candles. There's no sconces or anything. No light source. No torches. Just moonlight peeking through. And she approaches the stairwell leading up on the side of the store. She walks behind the main counter, and she looks upstairs and she sees some flickering light. So her parents haven't seen her for, like I said, a few months at least. She walks upstairs, and her footsteps are creaking. The steps are very creaky. So I think one person, you can hear footsteps approaching. Um, this is her father. I'm gonna assume it's her father. So does her father excitedly get up from what we can hear from Rayla's position? Does he rush up to the door in the room upstairs and open it? I'm going to say 60% chance because maybe she's taking care of the mother. Okay, he does. That's a almost a strong yes. He briskly walks towards the door, opens it up, and reveals to see his daughter, Rayla, in front of his eyes. He hugs her. They catch up. She enters, closes the door. He offers her some food, and oh, that's right, rations. So I forgot to take away rations after the recent episode or two. So I will, let's say he gives her a few rations for the travels, just to restock her supplies. They're not the wealthiest. She's also going to give them some gold, bringing money back home, kind of family, taking care of the family. Let's let's zoom out and focus on Garlock just for a moment. His ration is down to one, so we're getting pretty close to our bottom low amount here. It looks like Wolf has no rations at the moment, so I'm going to remove that. That's mainly to represent from the day before. So that means we're back to Rayla. Okay, and I'm going to say that in shop with parents. So her mother is sick. She's in the bed. She's coughing, perhaps asleep, or just well, let's ask the oracle. Is her mother awake? I'm going to say 15% chance. She's not. She's asleep. She's not dead. She's just asleep. And her father again is excited to see her. He offers her some soup. They eat. They talk. They catch up. She says she she explains what happened. They found the Firestone for the king, and she slowly pulls out the elixir of life. Her father's eyes light up, uh, and he's very pleased and happy for the efforts his daughter went through to achieve such a grand item. He asks her, "Where'd you find it?" And she says, uh, "A hag's hut." not too far from here. And I don't think the parents have gone out too much of the town of the kingdom walls because of again how poor they are. They like it says in our backstory very briefly, the fallen noble house, the family themselves, they used to be wealthy. Something happens. We can always explore that 50 episodes from now. But he starts to cry and he's like really holding tightly on, holding his daughter's hand tightly with the elixir of life in the hand too. She says, let's give it to mother. And the father, let's get some names here. So we need a name for the father and mother, and I think I'm going to put this right here in the main her main character sheet. So father's name. We don't have a last name just yet, but I have a I have a book that is an oracle for the game called Ironsworn. I don't have I don't own the game Ironsworn. I have Starforge, but not the fantasy based Ironsworn. And it's a reference guide for something for Ironsworn RPG. There is a page here that has names, and they also have action and themes, and we could use this for today, but I've had this for some time. There is a name generator somewhere around here. I know for a fact. Ireland, but they are they're Islander names, but I think it'll work for our elven our elf father here. Parcel, Parcel. Let's do that. So her father's name is Parcel, and then the mother's name Parcel. Mother is Farah. Fara. So Parcel Farah. I'll write that down here for my main notes. We have two characters. We have father, Parcel, Parkel or Parcel. Hopefully I'm pronouncing it right. And so they walk over to the mother, Farah. I think that kind of sounds like an elven name. And the father sits next to her. She coughs. The mother coughs a bit more. It's ironic. I said in the video I was going to do light on the role play, which it feels like I am. Not too focused on the details of the room and what if there's a table or desk, certain things, items, etc. But anyways, Rayla walks around the desk, or I'm sorry, walks around the bed. She sits down. There's another chair. She puts her hand on her mother's hand. Her mother, does she awaken after feeling her daughter's hand, the warmth? 75% chance. She does. Oh, that's a 60. She does. Okay, takes a minute. Takes a moment. Her eyes open. She sees her daughter, and she smiles, and a tear comes down. She says, Rayla, you've returned. She barely speak. Whatever illness she has, she barely speaks. She perhaps just says Rayla, whispers it, and she is nodding off again. And Rayla looks at the father. The father opens up the cork from the elixir of life. I'm thinking it's like a. I just saw Waterboy recently, so I'm thinking it's Waterboy's like the movie Adam Sandler. It's the blue Alaskan water from the from Alaska's water. It's really cold blue, and opens it up. There's a very uh, clean smell coming from it. A very nice smell of possibly a mix of herbs, etc. And it's blue, and it's like a kind of a wavy, magical dust coming from it. And so the father looks to Rayla, and Parcel asks, are you sure this will work?" And Rayla is just based on firsthand knowledge of it. She says, "I believe it will." And so the father pours, kind of takes Farrah's head sits her up just a bit and pours the water into her, lets her drink the water. She drinks the water, sets her head back down, and about a few minutes later, let's ask the Oracle, does anything happen? Was this all for naught? Or does it actually heal her? So, if this was a movie, this could be a very cinematic scene. For any modern day relevance, anything just like a visual for you guys, if you've seen, here's another reference, anime, seen Solo Leveling, which is really hot right now, when Jinwoo gives that healing, that um, magical item to heal his mother, it takes moments. There's like this very dramatic music. There's a lot of visuals and the curtains in the hospital or wind comes in. I'm kind of picturing that. And so, the window is open, the curtains kind of slowly start to move in the wind. And Rayla, it appears nothing happens. We can try the Oracle, 90% chance. Does it work? I think, hmm, I have an idea if it's a no. So 75% chance. Okay, so 81. It's a weak no. 6 over. So at first, nothing happens. Rayla starts to tear up. She she stands up. She walks around frustrated. She kind of kicks the table, kicks the whatever the floor. Parcel puts the vial back, the glass back down on the side. He gave all of it to her. The father says not to worry. Perhaps it'll take time. And Rayla says from where she found it, she believes it was going to work. Spent all that time coming back here, and she's frustrated. So I could have said it worked, but I wanted the Oracle to have a play here. Now, I'm interpreting the distance, the gap between the two. It was a 75% chance, and I rolled a no. That's only 6% difference, which means that Rayla has to get back to the inn, which was called the Stratcher Inn Tavern, Sweets Casino, um, before before sunrise, because this is something personal to her. She doesn't want to explain herself where she went. And between episodes, I've been thinking more about how the three met, or how originally Theus um, and the magician, I forgot who died or who left. I already forgot my original characters. But anyways, um, how Theus and how Wolf and Rayla in the original two met. I think they're part of a guild, and the guild is hired, perhaps to. They're trying to either form a guild or they are with a guild. That's a potential idea. Here back in Haxbury. I'll keep that on the table for now, I'm not going to say it's official yet. But I'm trying to think how to work it into the story at this late in juncture. So she decides to come back tomorrow, early in the morning. She says she has to get some rest, and her father says, "No, stay here. Stay in the extra room. Stay in your original. Maybe her room, original room is next door, next room over." And Rayla's concerned and maybe just wake up really early and check on mother before going back to the meet at 7 a.m. in the tavern before they go meet the king to return the items. So 7 a.m. was the deadline to meet in the tavern for breakfast, and then head out to meet at the palace to the king at 8 a.m. That was what the watchman directed the crew to do. So she'll sleep for a couple of hours. It's only 4 a.m. She has 2 hours. Nothing happens to the mother. She's still out. The father goes back to bed, or just, I mean, he's reading, doesn't really sleep much. So Rayla goes to sleep, and let's see. She's not hurt, so I'm trying to figure out if any of our characters have any damage. I don't think they do. Looks like everyone's okay. Yep, no damage. Okay. Now, Rayla wakes up at 6 a.m., still in the shop. Time is of the essence right now. She has about maybe a good half an hour before she has to leave. She goes back to, she wakes up, she gets dressed, she picks up her belongings, she goes back to the main living room, and kind of doubles as a bedroom for her mother to rest. And as she opens the door, she can see, before she opens the door, she can hear laughter. She opens the door and she sees her father and her mother sitting up, exchanging a little conversation, laughing about something. Kind of a very heartwarming moment. Rayla breaks out in tears. She runs over and hugs her mother. She asks, "When did you wake up?" And she's still weak to talk. She doesn't talk much. She's just starts petting Rayla's head, hair. She's like happy to see her. And Parcell says she woke up just a couple minutes ago, or she woke up 15 minutes ago, not too long ago. So her mom's awake. Like I said, that's how I interpret the no roll. It was a no, but it was only 6% difference. I decided to move it to a yes later, but though delayed. So the mom is awake, wakes up, so she's healed with the elixir of life, which makes sense, that hence the name. So I'm going to remove that from her inventory. So they exchange pleasantries, and she sits back down. They have breakfast. It's roughly, half an hour later. She says she has to go. She's sorry that she has to leave, but she has business with the king. And her mother kind of whispers jokingly, saying, "Oh, my daughter is moving up in the world, like the old days." Parcell gives her a few rations of, loaves of bread, just to give to her friends or to use for herself. Now, I think this is worth experience, so I'm going to do 10. I forgot to add up the prior, but I guess we can do that at the end of the session. Now, I am going to get her father has a reward for her, for a reward for what she did. Not just a thanks and a tap on the shoulder, or a pat on the head, but he's going to give her something in exchange for her efforts. Let's see what she can give. Let's see what he can give her. I think he is going to give her a prized family heirloom that doubles as a weapon. Something for an elf. Currently, she has daggers 2d4, but they're going to be silver daggers in this game are 1d4. But I'm going to bump that up to 1d6 per. So she has 2d6 now. It's a pair of daggers that are in this nice, very very nice looking box holder for them, and they're in this red material. He unfolds it inside the box. It's like a little chest, and it reveals the two silver daggers. He says that this belonged to his father as during the war, and that she can have them. He starts talking about statistics. It's like they do 2d6 damage, and she's very happy. She says, "Thank." Well, at first she said, "I can't have these. This is your grandfather's," and he says, "No, no, take them. What do I have? What use do I have? I'm an old man." So she'll take them. They're shiny. They're nice and valuable, most likely, and she probably could use them in the near future if she runs into any trouble on her next quest. So she again hugs her mother, she hugs her father, and she wishes them the best and that she'll be back. She just has to take care of this last thing, and she will come back to the shop. Well, she says that now, but her father shakes his head and says, "Don't waste your life just spending your days here. You have so much potential. Go out there and help others. Go out there and make make the fortune you've always wanted. Be yourself. Be the adventurer you've always wanted to be." So he's trying to push her, and she's Rayla split on it. So she does leave. She goes back to. She makes her way leaving the slums. Does she encounter any trouble? Let's roll 20. It's morning. 50-50. I actually don't know really. Let's see. 23. That is a yes. She encounters. Let's see. I'm gonna say she encounters possibly a creature. Trying to find the cards for something that takes place in a district. Badlands. I have Highlands encounter. Let me do Highlands encounter. We could do a dungeon. Let's try it. Sorry, I'm looking off camera for these cards I have. I have them kind of permanently here on my side. And I'm trying to find one that makes sense for this area we're in. Okay, let's just try this one. If it works, if it doesn't, it is a Highland encounter from Dungeon Degenerates. And as it reads, a traveling mystic strides boldly across the treacherous landscape, undotted by the danger that surrounds them. The party may approach, fight, or ignore. Okay, so, when they ignore, fight, or approach, um, it's a hypnotist. Encounter human wizard. I think this is more suitable for hex for the not hex. This is tile square, but more for just general travel outside the area, the kingdom. So I think we're going to skip on that, and maybe she just encounters this thing, a godfly. Just she encounters this ugly creature that pops out of the sewer, and it's just going to attack her. So let's figure out some stats on this thing, and we will have an encounter. All right, let me grab my. I found. Still have this whiteboard that I've used before many times for encounters in old videos. Kind of helps simplify things. So this is a godfly, and let's see how many there are. Is there more than one? 50% chance. Yes, there is. There's two. Okay. Their AC. These guys are probably not too threatening at all. So, the stats are based on Dungeon Degenerates. The three does give me an idea. The one armor gives me an idea. They have AC of 8. They have, let's say, attack of a D4. So there's one of them. So we have one. We have two. And there's HP of, let's say, 4, half the AC. We'll see if that works. Actually, that's probably a little too much for these little guys. Let's do 3. Okay, excellent. And we'll do tallies here for damage taken. Now, as I do this, I simplify combat. I roll both at the same time. Kind of makes it go quicker. Okay, rolling. Now remember, I use a target 20 system. So this 19 is us. That's obviously a hit. And they also hit us. Both good rolls. So that's the first round. Now their damage is a D4, while ours is a nice 2D6. I'm going to grab the D4 for them, and we're going to roll all at the same time. Okay, 4 damage, so she takes a pretty heavy hit, but she does 5 damage, taking out the first one. And then she takes 4 damage, which is pretty considerable because her HP is so low for some reason. Did I bump her up? Hold on a second. I know BECMI characters are bound to It's pretty brutal, but Wolf is 12, which makes sense. He's level 2. Garlax is 8. He's a dwarf. That kind of makes sense, and she's an elf. A little more. Okay, I think that works. So they got 4 damage off of us. 1, 2, 3, 4. And so now we're gonna roll again. That was the first round. Ooh. Okay, so that's a fail. So that failed roll for the I don't think there's I always forget if there's fumbles in this game. I'm gonna say we'll wait on that one. Because house rule and just make up as I go. So for her, 8 AC, her bonus, she has no bonus for strikes, but she does have 1+1 for regular attack bonus, which I use down here for Thaco, because from 20 to the starting 19 to level 1 characters is 1, so that is a standard +1 based on BECMI rules. It's not really a bonus per se, it just compensates for the difference of my target 20 method, so it looks like an attack bonus, but it's not really. So it keeps in line with the what do you call it? The native 19. So +1 on her roll, that's 7. +8, that's 15. That's not 20. So we'll roll again. Okay, so whoops, they rolled an 8 for them, I think, which is going to be a miss anyways. She hits. That's all. No math required for that one. Takes out the second Godfly that popped out of the sewers. So that will give her. Let's see, where does this card go? Badlands Monsters. There it is. Okay, so that gives her 10 experience. 2 of them, so 20. And she's safe to continue on after leaving the slums just now. The guard, or the guard from before, she can see him leaving his post. It's almost at the end of the shift. He leaves. Kind of looks at her, but she makes her way. The guard doesn't question her. He's eager to get home. So Rayla returns back to she literally, and because of that encounter that delayed things a bit, story time wise, and world time wise. So it's now roughly 7 a.m. and she's back in the tavern, the inn, but right on the dot. Her Wolf is at the bar, ordering some food with getting some food with Garlock, and she walks in. They look to her, and she said she just took a walk. She was a bit stressed or worried about today. They acknowledge that. Yes, it's very concerned. You know, it's a big day. So they all grab breakfast, and they actually get some food for the. They actually get more rations for the rest of the day. So she has. I say she's gonna give 2 of them. She gets 1. She pays for breakfast, so let's say 2 gold. So now she's down to 28 gold pieces. Or yeah, 28. And then 1 per meal. Sorry. So 23 down, and Garlax gets 3 rations total. Sorry, 2 total for the rest of the day. He'll eat 1 momentarily. I am screwing up my math here. So she bought 1 and she ate 1, which means Garlax bought 1 and ate 1. So he only has 2 now. Okay, I'm sorry. Apologies about that. And then Wolf buys 1 and eats 1. He's down to 23 also. And now he's back to 2. Or 1. Okay. And now it is 7. They sit down, they have a nice good chat. Their plan for today, just to be cordial. Garlax is still, remember, he's a dwarf. Dwarves are looked down upon here for some reason. And maybe it was just some kind of old war they had with the kingdom and the dwarves and the wars and stuff like that. So what I'm thinking, the team says, Wolf and Rayla ask Garlax if he can stay here because of the circumstances. Not to offend him, but because of the circumstances. He says, well, he's split on it. He's angry that he can't take part in the process of Return the Stone. At the same time, he doesn't want to cause any trouble. Remember, he is lawful. He doesn't want to cause any trouble or any reputable damage for. Remember, this is all based in the game, in the Shadowscape's kingdom. He doesn't want to cause any reputable damage for the team, the party. So they still have the room. They still have their rooms for maybe till roughly in the afternoon. So Rayla and Wolf will go on. Garlax will remain in the room. I'm gonna write that down here. So Wolf, Rayla go to the palace. Garlax stays behind. Again, just because, but he does say, don't forget to, as long as they they give him a little more of the reward just because of the trouble, they agree. So if they get like 300 gold, they'll give him 110 gold, just an extra piece. So that I think that's what kind of motivates him. That's what kind of persuades him to stay behind. He doesn't have to deal with all the bureaucratic bullshit. He can stay behind, enjoy himself, maybe clean up his weapons and sharpen his knife, whatever he wants to do. He'll stay in the room. The wolf even pays the bartender, the barkeep, an extra piece of gold just for him to stay up there for a few more, for like at least till noon, or roughly around noon. And so he agrees. So Garlax will keep the room till about, let's say, 2 p.m. I know that might not be accurate on time tracking, but I'm trying to do my best in approximates. Okay, so he agrees if they give him just a slightly more gold. I'll do a big if here. If Garlax gets extra gold from the reward, and that is going to be it for the tavern. So they leave. It is 7:30 now. Okay, 7:30 a.m. The party, mainly again Wolf and Rayla, head to the palace. And that's where I'm going to end this episode. Now, this was a fantastic episode. We got some backstory complete for Rayla and her parents. She fought a godfly, which is actually a really intriguing character, as simple as it was. I like that little. It was a pretty. Oh, that's right. She has to heal. So I'm gonna heal her. I forgot about that. She's still hurt. Or maybe that'll be the story for the next one. So the rations that she ate will give her. I think one ration heals one wound. So she's down. She's only hurt to 3 now. But she needs to get some potions on the way. So Rayla needs to heal. This is a reminder for myself to the next episode. Needs to heal. So buy a potion or something, you know? Buy a potion from a dealer. So, but besides that, guys, I think that's all I'm going to do for this episode today. Hope you enjoyed. Like I said, we had an encounter. We dealt with some backstory, and overall, it went quite well. And we also used briefly Iron Sword and Lone Star. But as always, thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.